One, two, three.
Are you ready? Well, here we go.
I'm Lisa Mitzel, and this is Condition to Win. Hey, friends, I'm so glad you're with me. This is the third episode of the podcast, Condition to Win. And I realized that I haven't shared the reason why I called the podcast Condition to Win. And what has happened in our society and in our culture is that we bring up our kids to focus on achievement and success. And that's what happened to me. I was so driven and so competitive. And I think that with all the mental health issues, we need more balance because kids are so stressed and teenagers feel so much pressure and expectation. And I think instead of conditioning our children to win in sports, we want to condition them or teach them to win in life. And that is about teaching them to be kind and patient to each other and to themselves. And it is to help other people when they're down, to learn new things, contribute to society in a meaningful way, and to really feel good about yourself. So that's the reason why I named the show Condition to Win. And I am so excited about today's show. Today, we are shaping kids' brains through something called neuroperformance. When you think of a map, you may think of a GPS in your car, on your phone, or a globe or a map in your child's classroom at school, or maybe a historical map on a wall at your home or in a museum. But today we're talking about brain maps for gymnasts. And my very good friend, Yuka Sugiura, is going to explain what brain mapping is and how it relates to the human body and your gymnast's performance. And if you haven't heard of brain body mapping, let me tell you, Yuka's work is the real deal. And she is exploding on Instagram. So many people in the sport of gymnastics are just now finding her and realizing how valuable the exercises and tools are. And you can learn how to integrate these tools and exercises into gymnastics, which can significantly improve flexibility, speed, power, balance, and much more. Neuroperformance exercises can help heal injuries faster and give athletes autonomy so that they feel more in control, more confident, they can do less repetitions, and actually do better gymnastics. So it is really amazing stuff. And we will get to the interview in just a couple minutes. First, let's check in. How are you? How are you feeling? Have you been pushing yourself or trying to be perfect? If you have, I understand. Gosh, I definitely put pressure on myself. But putting pressure on ourselves has a limit because what we need to do is let go at a certain point and trust the process. So let's take a couple deep breaths and smile and do an exercise together. And this will just be a little quick practice that you can actually do with your child or do at the gym. And this is a calming exercise from Zen Tiger Mind's Mental Power Station. And Zen Tiger is our foundational animal and guide. And this is for all ages, children and adults. And the Zen mat has instructions on it. And if you can close your eyes, great. If not, and you're doing something, then just follow along. So here we go. Number one, how are you feeling? Okay. Sit, stand, or lie down quietly. Say, I want to feel peaceful 3 times. I want to feel peaceful. I want to feel peaceful. I want to feel peaceful. Number two, inhale through your nose and count to 4. Ready? And inhale. One, two, three, four, and hold it and breathe out. One, two, three, four. Close your eyes and feel loose. And let's take two more breaths. Inhale through your nose and hold it and breathe out. And one more. Inhale through your nose. One, two, three, four. And hold it and breathe out. One, two, three, four. And then whisper to yourself, my shoulders are down, my hands are heavy, I am relaxed. Number four, breathe in, feel the air go in, and breathe out, and feel the air go out. Five, imagine you're in a safe, peaceful place in nature or cozy blankets. Maybe you're in the forest or at the beach, or you're cuddling with your pillow and you're feeling very happy. Just imagine it. And number six, smile and slowly say, I am calm, I'm in control, I am safe. 3 times. I am calm, I'm in control, I am safe. One more. I am calm, I'm in control, I am safe. And that is a wonderful exercise for kids and parents to do together, for gymnasts and coaches to do together, or for someone to do it solo. And then you might even place one hand on your tummy and the other on your chest and inhale and exhale and feel the body rising and falling. Feel the warmth of your body, feel the energy of your body, and just say to yourself, I have all the power inside me. I have all the power inside me. I have all the power inside me. I am psyched about my friend Yuka Sugiura, and here you go. All right, everybody, we've got such a wonderful guest. I'm pretty psyched because she's such a good friend of mine. This is Yuka Sugiura. Welcome, Yuka.
Hi, Lisa. It's good to be here.
So we were talking just before, and you said you went to work out this morning in the farmer's market, and that sounds so fun. I just love getting out on a Sunday morning, and
Yeah, it was good. Thank goodness. And it's actually a beautiful day today. So
it is.
even better. Yeah,
We've had so much rain.
I know.
Yeah. So I think you know that I like to start with taking a breath together. So I'm going to count to 3, and I'm actually going to ring my little singing bowl. I hope you like it.
Okay. Yeah, yeah.
I'm going to take a breath together. 1, 2, 3. Inhale and exhale. I like
Oh,
that.
nice. Makes such a difference.
Doesn't it?
It sure does.
Yeah,
Yeah.
very cool. So, Yuka, you are a neuro performance coach.
Yes.
And I just learned what that is like 2 years ago when we met. And we've become close friends and we've
Mhm.
collaborated in presentations and speaking at gymnastics clubs. We are going to definitely dive into your work and your experiences. But first, tell people how we met.
Okay. God, I don't know. It seems like more anyway, so how we met. I saw you on Instagram somehow. And then I went to your website and I was like, oh, look what she like because I had not been it just didn't really occur to me that there were people that did what you did. I mean, I guess I knew. But so I was looking through your website and I was like, wow, I looked through your history. You had gone to Utah and a number of the girls that I trained with, like I was a little like B team kid and these were girls on the A team that and I knew that they went to Utah and I was like, oh, I bet she knows some of the same people. So
Oh,
emailed and said, right? Because like yeah, like Sandy and Lynn. And
yeah.
so I emailed and said, hey, I think we know some people in common. And then at some point we just got on a Zoom and I had such admiration for what you do and how you spoke about it
Yeah,
and how you work with gymnasts. And so I just right away I was like, oh, this is somebody that's really important.
that's so cool
Yeah.
that you were curious. and that you reached out. And yeah, let's give a little love to Sandy Sabaka and Lynn Letter.
Yeah, there we go. Yeah.
So yeah, we met that way, and then we met at a park in person, and it turns out we
Yeah.
don't live too far from each other, and it's just crazy stuff how Instagram can bring all of us in the gymnastics community, the sports community closer together, right?
Yeah. It
And
is amazing. It really is. Yeah.
so I am fascinated, and I truly mean this. I am fascinated with how the brain works, especially in conjunction with the nervous system, emotions, and the body, how it all works
Yeah.
together. And I love the description on your website, if I may read this little section.
Yes.
As a neuroperformance coach, I assess the systems that create the brain's 3D map of your body. Efficient, pain-free movement requires a high-definition map. That just sounds so cool.
Yeah.
Uh, so, so I love that high definition. So I'm looking for impairments in neural systems or brain body connections that may be creating areas that are unclear. And I know you use the word in quotes blurry
Yeah.
sometimes when you're asking people if they feel something and they don't seem to have as much awareness or clarity in their mind. So do you want to add anything to that description?
Sure. So there, our brain literally has like multiple 3D maps of our body. It's how we know if there's an insect crawling right on my pinky finger that I know exactly where that is, right? And so even though gymnasts and a lot of high level athletes, but gymnasts in particular, because they're using all of their body in so many different ways, their brain can have a really good idea of where everything is. But let's say I just sprained my ankle,
Mm-hmm.
which pretty much, 99.9% of gymnasts have sprained their ankle. But what happens in the brain is that the map of the ankle within a day or two is actually shifting.
Mm,
Like the neurons are sort of reorganizing, especially if I'm not using it anymore. And even with what we think of as a simple injury like that, there are actually consequences to our brain's map.
mm,
And when that changes, and let's say, like, I'm not able to move it at some angle the way that I used to,
right.
right? So that little section of the map, those pixels are now like kind of dim or gone.
Yeah, muddy.
And so muddy, yeah, blurry. And so the brain's like, uh-oh, it's a little blurry. I'm not going to let you run as fast because I want everything to be clear.
Oh, so it actually creates almost like a disconnection that you can't, or a barrier that you can't run as fast or be as flexible.
Right, right. Because the brain wants safety and predictability, as you know, right, through the work that you do.
Yeah.
And if I, for something as important as my feet and my ankles in gymnastics, if I don't have super clear map of that, I don't have prediction of every single thing that I can do with my ankle,
Mm,
it's very possible that then the brain's like, whoa,
yeah.
slow down, or I'm going to kind of make you slow down because maybe yeah, I just don't have the same kind of power output because those pixels are missing.
So these little exercises, by the way, if you're listening and you have not followed Yuka on Instagram, Level Up Neuro, and we're going to have it in the show notes. She has so many incredible exercises and drills and information that our sport is just lacking, I guess, in terms of alternative methods and also giving you the power. And I think that's what I want to talk about is giving the athletes autonomy, sharing information with coaches and people in our community so that we can honestly, in a meaningful way, in a heartfelt way, as much as it is science, is that we are really caring for the athletes because we're giving them options and
Right.
some very smart tools. So let's go on to the next question. I
Yeah.
have, and we can always hop back and forth. Yuka, this is a very fluid,
Yep.
no rules here.
Yeah.
Why is this work important in your life? And why do you think this type of training is so important for athletes?
Yeah. For me personally, it's just exciting that there are tools and there's a way to help athletes, coaches change their body themselves, and that the changes can be quite immediate, 15, 30 seconds for one change, and can be profound. And so for someone who's struggling with a skill, or like I was great swinging bars, but I had no power in my legs, which sucks because 3 of the 4 events are leg events. But for somebody who maybe is like that, who maybe is never going to do a double double, but who wants a little bit more power, they can find tools and do them themselves to actually feel that change. I think that's what's exciting. And for me, my feeling is like, I have this information that can make your life easier. And I just want to share it because from, the athletes that I've worked with and the testing that I've done and labs and et cetera, can make the difference between maybe I have to do like 1,000 reps of something in order to master it. Like maybe we can cut it down to 700 or 800. Wouldn't that be awesome?
You're saving the body.
Yes. Yeah. That's actually, yeah. So to answer the question, I think that's what, for me, it's can we lighten the load on the body, which also is going to be on the mind, even just a small fraction? And over 10 years of a career, more than that, that's going to make a difference.
Yeah. I'm
Yeah.
terrible at math in my head.
Yeah.
My mom, when I've tried to do simple math in my head and I don't get it correct, I've heard my mother, and I love her. She's the best mom ever. But she does this thing where she goes, Lisa.
I do actually, one of the tests, it's not really a test, but it's dual tasking. And this comes from like applied neuroscience, is that I'll have people walk, and then while they're walking, they have to also count backwards from 100 by sevens. And I have had an athlete who's at Stanford, who's a mechanic, he's an engineer, and I heard him say 50. And I was like, that's not possible.
Not divisible by 7.
Right. Anyway, so you have to walk and do math at the same time. Maybe it gets a lot harder. That's pretty funny.
Give me a glimpse in your whole life why neuroperformance is so important to you. Like you were, you went through struggles, and we're going to talk a little bit about that.
Yeah.
And you were a dancer, and then you went to college, and as you grew into your adult life, you went into the tech world, and you shifted out. And to me, this was like a big life change and a big risk. And you're the only one that I have found, and I think we've talked about this, that does the neuroperformance work specifically in gymnastics. So you were saying that's why you're getting a lot of followers. I'm like, no, it's because you're good. It's not.
Thank you.
But it is, and it's very new. It's very new to, a lot of people don't know what it is. But how is neuroperformance, just how do you perceive this shift and this change and this big risk of going out on a limb? How do you perceive that in your life?
It's tricky, and it's because it's new. My training was in applied neuroscience, which I started because, and it's like 1,300 hours and counting because I'm still studying like constantly, but no one's heard of it. Most people, right? There's a fairly decent community of people that have studied, had the same training, and it's founded in deep research, neuroscience, like fMRI, all this like actual science. But because it's new and it's taking research as it's coming out, as opposed to waiting for it to get 20 years of research and then it gets into a textbook. So because of that, if you talk to like a physical therapist or athletic trainer or a coach, they're like, I've never heard of this. Where are your textbooks? Where is your certification? Where is the research that says that doing this helps offload force for a gymnast? And then that's where the resistance comes from. And it looks a little weird, and sometimes maybe that's part of it, but I think it's mostly because people haven't heard of it or heard of me, right? I don't have a long resume in the sport. And so that could be part of it.
Well, that's what I was thinking about is, you are a professional in the sports medicine area, and what's the vision and how can you enhance the services for athletes and coaches? Because in the view of USA Gymnastics, NGA, any kind of organization that is leading and getting membership, and you have to get into competitions that are sanctioned by these big organizations, they're hiring or maybe at least getting volunteers in physical therapy and sports nutrition. But where is the opportunity, or what's your vision in
Yeah.
getting neuroperformance more widespread and accepted so that people know about
Right.
it?
I think, and to speak to that, right, some of the resistance, and I get it, there's liability issues, right? I think to some degree there's a protective piece of it. So I get it. I don't like it, but I get it. And what you're saying is the revelation that I had, because I've worked with a lot of athletes, gymnasts, one on one. I'm like, this is only going to make a difference if I can teach the coaches.
Mm.
Because when coaches who are open to trying something new, something that they haven't heard of, for example, I just did a clinic on the vestibular system, and I heard back from one of the coaches who was on there. She's like, oh my gosh, I did the thing that you showed me, and this girl who always tumbles crooked, she tumbles straight.
Oh, oh,
Like
wow.
we fixed it, right? So we found the thing that helps her go straight. And it's a 20-second exercise.
Isn't that
So
amazing? It,
yeah, this is why I love it. And then the kid, what's so great is that when you see, I'm getting chills because when you see that athlete who looks at you, so this, I did a vestibular exercise. A girl was doing a back handspring on beam, and she had way too much power.
mm,
Like she fell off, and I'm like, okay, next time I do this, we're gonna start a little low beam. But she looked at me and she's like, what just happened?
yeah.
Right. And so I think for coaches to see that when an athlete has, they always fall off to the right. They always fall off to the right. Okay, well, let's do this drill with your eyes. Okay, now all of a sudden she's going straight. So the coach is happy. There's this great win. The athlete feels great. And I think the coaches actually have to try these things in practice and
Yeah.
see what happens in order, right? Same thing like other parents have tried the drills that I post on Instagram. Oh, my daughter did this for the last couple of days and her splits are lower.
Oh.
Yeah, like all kinds of feedback like this. And so
Oh.
and this is how it happened for me when I was learning this. I'm taking courses and courses and courses, and you do these drills. Okay, test your mobility, test your strength. And that's where you get the buy-in, is if you actually feel the difference in the change, right? Yeah.
And you came from, is it technically called sports massage or something else?
Yeah, so the transition from being in software and tech to all the other stuff is I had a hip injury, needed surgery, and instead of going to a PT, I went to somebody who did orthopedic massage and Pilates. She recruited me,
Oh.
and I was like, I work at a desk in an office. Like, what are you asking me to do? Like, this is what I do. And she's like, just go to like the massage course. It's starting in September. Go for a weekend. If you don't like it, great. And I went and I was like, oh, this is what I'm going to do now.
I see.
And
Okay.
so that's what started the transition, yeah, away from tech to debugging the
I don't
body
think
instead.
I don't think I knew that you got an invitation from your yoga
Yeah,
pod.
for my therapist, she's like, oh, you kind of have a good sense of your body. I'm like, well, yeah.
Wasn't there this-
And then, yeah, she's like, do you want to do this? And that's how it started. And so from that, what else can I learn? What else can I do to get even better results? And that's when I started studying the neuroscience. And that's like the whole sky opened up. I was like, this is the answer to everything.
And then you quit your
Yeah.
tech job,
Yes.
and
Yeah.
then you decided, okay, this is what I'm going to do. On a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being, oh my gosh, I'm totally freaking out.
Oh,
How scary was that? Feel like a big risk?
it wasn't, I think I felt so sure that I'm like, this is what I want to do. I mean, it was a financial conversation, and how do we, we're losing one Silicon Valley salary. I'm not going to make that doing this. And so it was more a little of that. But, my husband was super supportive, and I was just sure that this is what I wanted to do.
Well, I was thinking that's sure what you wanted to do. Did it feel like you also knew, yes, and I can make this a career?
Yes. Yeah.
Wow, you had a
Yeah.
lot of clarity.
Yes. I don't know. But I think I was also in a place where I'm ready to do something else. And
Mm,
it literally, because I was getting to the point in my career was, this is fine, but like I could make up my dream job in this industry and I still don't really want to do it. And
yeah.
so this fell in my lap and I was like, oh, okay, thank you. This is what I'm supposed to do.
That's how I've gotten here, is that things have
Yeah.
fallen in my lap. It's sort of like the
Yeah.
universe conspiring and saying, hey, Lisa, this is the next window I've opened for you.
Yeah.
And it just sort of magically it touches your spirit, it
Yeah.
touches your heart, your mind, and you're thinking, yes, yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah. And oh, I forgot to add. So I had actually started coaching in 2000. So the year before I had started coaching. And that's when I was like, oh, I have these tools, healing tools, and I'm in this gym with all these girls who are in pain. And so that's when I started to kind of marry the two. The obvious light bulb went off, and I was like, oh, I can do massage for the girls here, which is, that's when I started working more closely with the gymnasts.
Well, that just sounds so much like personal evolution,
Yes. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
people coming to you in your pathway and inviting you and the gym thing and yeah, all of this. That's amazing. Well, that was the first half of Yuka's interview on neuroperformance. In the second half, she gives specific examples in how she helps gymnasts. She talks about safety and predictability from the standpoint of neuroactivity in the brain and the magic of autonomy supportive language. It's a fantastic show. Today's highlight is brought to you by our sponsor, Zen Tiger Mind, mental training and mental health products and curriculum for child development programs and competitive athletes. Today's word is self-examination. Self-examination is a form of introspection and self-observation. As coaches and parents teach children, it is necessary to do self-examination to notice if you are balanced. Your thoughts, intentions, and your energy directly affect the kids in their learning process. You want the kids to feel challenged, yet they also need to enjoy the process of learning, plus experience frequent successes to build confidence. Plus, you can model self-examination so your kids can learn that too and have a wonderful inner connection with themselves. Well, that's the show. I'm Lisa Mitzel. I'm honored you chose to listen in. Check the show notes for information. Share your thoughts in the comments. Give us a positive rating if you enjoyed it, and please subscribe. Okay, my friends, this is your journey to grow and learn and guide yourself to your own transformation. I am sending you good vibes, deep breaths, and peace.